You're watching TBPN. We are live from the Palace of Party Rounds. It's YC Demo Day, everyone. Let's go. It's a terrible day to be a techno pessimist. So we are here from Demo Day. We're going to be breaking down a bunch of stuff today.
I think we're going to start having some guests on.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you for making this happen, Gary. It's fantastic to be here. How's it going so far? Give us a breakdown.
It's awesome. The breadth of the type of things that people can do, and like, I just think about think of all of GDP, right?
Yep.
Like all the things that like our capitalist
I want it all.
We're coming for
every dollar of GDP. I love it.
Well, yeah, and then basically like everyone you're meeting here is like they're in like one little slide.
I completely agree. There's this narrative of like, oh, 80% is AI, but it's like, yeah, 80% is tech. Yeah. And it's like they're going after wildly different things. These are wildly different companies.
We're like at the moment of like very extreme abundance. Now, actually, you can go from like 0 to 100 mil ARR with like 10 people.
Yeah.
We're about to see that in the next few years. Like, I think it's already been happening. That's another thing that's kind of crazy that I think people, they don't have enough patience when it comes to trying to like get to product market fit.
Because I mean, the YC ethos is like, just don't die, right? Just keep it going.
Be a cockroach if you got to be the cockroach.
Yeah.
YC ends up being this beautiful reflection of what the best and brightest builders are interested in that time. How much of an impact do you feel like the partners have been having? You obviously interview a bunch of people, you put out requests for startups, but ultimately when founders are really, really driven, like they want to do what they want to do. How much of an impact do you feel like the partners, have versus just somebody knows what they want to build?
What we're really, really good at is keeping you from dying for stupid reasons.
Yes.
So, because there's just like
the overhiring, the overspending on marketing, pre-product market fit.
The brilliance kind of has to come from the person in the.
Yeah.
We're just there to like
spark.
Here's the network. Here are people who you can sell to. Don't do that. You're gonna kill yourself. All the money. Like.
And so many of these markets just are big, and if you stick there and I'm going to try and create value in my market. For years and years and years, eventually it happens.
Everything about it is buying time.
Yeah.
Buying time by being a cockroach, and then buying time by having revenue and real customers. What percentage of your time is spent being a CEO versus an investor today? Is it 90-10? Are you still
80-20? Like
80-20?
20% getting to like a coach on the field, and 80% is like how do we?
It's huge. Any other questions? I don't want to keep it too long.
I think that's it for now. This has been awesome.
Thank you so much for having us.
Killing it.
We
Amazing
really
to be here.
Over here.
Keep sending founders our way.
Anyone you see that wants to come on, please.
So far.
Thank you. Well, welcome to the show.
Having me.
It's nice to meet you. I'm John. Ava.
I'm Misprint.
Okay.
We're making a stock market for Pokemon cards.
Amazing.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys are familiar.
Oh, very cool.
Cards.
Okay.
Yes.
We got a Charizard here.
$3.5 billion of Pokemon cards
sell
on secondary markets like eBay every single year.
Okay.
And that's just the beginning. These cards are treated like commodities by collectors.
Sure.
And so we use a bid-ask system, kind of like StockX, but really want to go down the stock market route. So, when you think of your long-term stores of value, what do you think of? Like, there's gold, maybe the US dollar, maybe Bitcoin. Well, next up you have Pokemon cards.
Okay, so
amazing.
So break it down. Is this mostly a platform to buy and sell them, or can I also participate in some sort of financialized, fractionalized index?
Basically, it functions like a traditional order book.
Okay.
You can do like market orders, which is like a buy now or a sell now, and you can also do limit orders.
Okay.
So that's where you place an ask or a bid.
Okay.
For simplicity, we just say ask and bid.
Sure.
But over time, futures and stuff on cards are like
very
exciting to us.
Fantastic.
Especially for the things that have really high volume.
Yeah.
Some of these sell multiple times a day. And for like the sealed products, which we also do. So those are the boxes where you get your cards.
Okay.
Could sell hundreds of times per day. Right now it's peer-to-peer, but over time we plan to intercept more things because I think that's a way you can add a lot of value and also work on like verifying things.
Of course.
And also eventually, if you have a vault system, you could do intraday trades on these without having to physically receive them.
Sure. Yeah.
For us, we're less interested in the fractionalized ownership because it's hard to own like a percentage of a card.
Sure.
Unless you're going to, cut it in half.
Yep.
So you'd always own the entire underlying asset and you could physically receive it at any time. But it's about reducing friction. And we think that's how we can take that $3.5 billion in GMV and get it to like $10 billion. Prior to YC, this summer, I quit my job at Goldman Sachs.
Ignore your new company. What percentage of your net worth is in Pokemon cards?
A lot. So I've been like buying and keeping this stuff sealed since like high school. So I'm 24, so like ancient by YC founder standards.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, since high school, yeah, it's just been like incredibly fun.
And remind me the name of the company.
Misprints. So it's misprint.com. Misprints are cards that have errors in them generally.
Yeah.
And so you might think they'd be less valuable or less desirable because they're actual errors.
Yep.
But they tend to be a lot more valuable.
Sure.
Because they're one of ones? Is that why?
Yeah. So it's like, you know, something that may be a little scuffed. Like if you look at our site, you know, it's made entirely by me and my co-founder, John, in a few weeks.
Cool.
And I don't really consider myself that technical.
Sure.
But, you know, I think we add a lot of value to the market, and our goal is to just make it more efficient.
Well, thanks so much for stopping by. Do you have any
Thanks
other
for having me on. This was like
is
really,
great.
really fun.
Thanks so much.
You guys.
And we're here with
none other than Jason Carmen, the founder, the
Welcome to the
CEO
show.
of Story Company. Let's hear it. How's it going? What's new with you?
It is good. Last time I was here in this building, we actually closed down the Palace of Fine Arts for filming.
Give us the update. You got a movie coming out. It's dropping
Yeah.
Saturday.
That's what we're excited about. You know, the film is about energy.
Okay.
It's called Too Cheap to Meter,
Yep.
based on the quote.
Awesome.
From the 20th
That's
century.
such a good name.
We are cutting it down by 15 minutes. It's got 15 interviews in it. What I've kind of realized after doing S3 for 2 years is that like we need less, for me at least, focus on specific companies and their stories.
I agree.
But we want to take a step back and go meta level.
It's great.
And look at like the entire space. And we're trying
Yeah, because
to...
it's tough because sometimes there's a company that you want to feature, but they don't deserve a 60 minutes on them, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
The 60 minutes.
There's just not the story there
Or
yet.
too early. And then
Yeah.
in general for us, I found I don't think I'd ever had respect for your stuff, but I felt like our stuff felt like it was like paid for almost, but it
Totally,
never was.
totally.
But it felt like, you know, I'm not an investor. Like we didn't have that relationship, but I think it felt that way.
No, it's literally unbelievable to the audience that you could be so stoked about Rangeview. They're like, how can he be so into this thing?
I love Rangeview. I love Cameron.
I love him too.
I love manufacturing.
But
and
it's just like for a lot of people, they're like, there's no way he's doing this and this passionate and shooting this high quality of cinematography.
What's your master plan? I'm sure you've laid it out before, but you obviously are, just kind of scratching the surface of what you want to do. It's not about making documentaries on Series A, hard tech companies. You want to take it all the way. What is that actually? What are the steps?
We want to be the next, we want to make the best science and technology movies so we can make the best sci-fi movies.
Fiction too, right? Yeah.
Yep. And we're releasing our first sci-fi short that we shot here, part of it.
Cool.
Here at the Palace of Fine Arts.
I'm so excited for that.
In about 2 months.
Awesome.
And then we're going to shoot our first feature-length fiction film that will go either at a minimum to a small theater distribution or a big one in August. And then we want to shoot like our actual first trilogy film in our Star Wars, like our first sci-fi trilogy in 2026. My hope is that in 10 years, there are more, hopefully YC companies that start around these next few years that are providing services for other deep tech
I do think the market can solve this. I think that it's totally possible that in the next YC batch, there is actually a debt finance firm specifically underwriting hard tech equipment. Also, there might be other abstraction layers. Like we saw the first hard tech wave was like products, and then we got the Hadrian, the Atomic, the Rangeview, right?
Yes.
Which are deeper in the stack. And I wouldn't be surprised.
It'd be a great scenario if it's hard tech companies selling to hard tech companies and you get that circular
and
economy.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see like, oh yeah, there's a YC company over there that's like tin smelting. Or like mining.
It was
or
on your guys' show that Gary
that.
said the thing about like, we don't need you to build the next SpaceX. We need you to like find some obscure screw.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's great. Anyway,
I love you, Bob.
Fantastic having you on the
This is
show.
so fun. Congratulations, everybody, too.
Congratulations to you too. Thanks so much.
Boys, it's great to have you.
Introduce yourselves, break down what you do, what the company's called.
Sure. So I'm Vivan. I'm Kushal. And we're building Optify, which is an AI performance monitoring system for factory workers.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We just went through demo day, presented, went really, really well.
Yeah, well.
You guys crushed it. Honestly, I think everybody already knows you guys. You're infamous, but I think the way that you guys have handled the sort of response was incredible. We saw the video ourselves. We were like, this software looks fantastic. I can absolutely see why and so
I mean, unironically,
and when you have a sort of controversial moment, the most important thing is to spin it into momentum and progress, and it seems like you guys are leveraging that.
Walk me through the actual tech. Is this mostly like webcam driven OpenCV to understand what's happening? Is that kind of the model?
It's pretty simple, to be honest. It's a regular IP camera, like any CCTV camera you put along. The only thing we need is to be placed at certain locations we need it to be placed at. But other than that, once a camera can stream to the internet, we just stream it, connect it to our servers. Good to go. Pretty easy.
What's the pricing model for factories? I don't even know like how they like to purchase software.
Yeah, because the value of if you're getting more output out of a team that is probably the biggest core expense for the business.
Yep.
And if you can make them 10% more efficient, that's a tremendous amount of value. Do you guys look at how do we, basically capture 10% of the incremental value, or what does that actually look like?
We did think of doing that, right? So how manufacturing owners think about this stuff is that, hey, these guys saved me $100,000 by increasing efficiency by 10%. So I'm going to give them a cut of that.
Sure.
But that's the right way to price this stuff. But we don't want to get into that fight with the owner where like, hey, I saved you $12,000. He's like, no, you saved me $8,000.
Yeah.
What we do is we do that calculation on the back end and just give them an X number that, hey, $6,000.
Yeah.
It kind of works out.
And then they can run with it from there. They scale up. Everyone's happy.
That makes sense. Really happy for you guys.
Yeah.
The progress has been awesome.
And excellent handling of what could have been a PR crisis that turned into something.
No, you turned it into an opportunity. Congratulations.
Thank you so
much.
much.
You won back the timeline. I love to see that.
Yeah,
it's always great.
Legends.
Timeline turned on you, but it wasn't over.
There you go. Thank you guys.
Thanks for coming on.
Hey, have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Give us your name, your company, and just kind of break it down.
Yeah, of course. My name is Eric. I'm the founder of Pig.
Okay.
Pig is an API for automating Windows applications with AI. So, unsexy industry, but sexy tech.
Okay, so give me a breakdown.
There's nothing less sexy than a pig.
Are we talking Microsoft
we do the
Excel?
dirty work.
Yeah, exactly. You do the dirty work.
Are we talking Microsoft Excel? Are we talking Windows apps? Because Microsoft has Copilot,
their
right?
Copilot, yeah.
So it's other Windows apps.
It's the long tail of those Windows apps that people, basically their day-to-day job is data entry. Taking some form and filling it out.
Yep.
A lot of medical applications, a lot of dental applications.
Government
internal. We had a country's government.
How much flexibility is there if there's an update that's pushed to some Windows app that you're working on? Does it just break everything and you guys have to retool, or is there some way that you can abstract away that complexity?
That's really like the key difference between this and traditional RPA. I don't know if you know much about.
I don't.
Yeah, you basically there's companies like UiPath and Blue Prism that are hiring.
Is that remote? No, I'm thinking RPC. What's RPA?
Robotic process automation.
Okay, robotic.
Literally, it is scripts saying, open application, click here, type here. And you could bake all of this into code, but the issue is you have to hire like teams of offshore contractors to constantly maintain that code. In your case, if applications update or like even like random pop-ups or a slow load on the application, it throws the entire thing off the line.
Sure.
With AI, because it's constantly looking at the screen, it could self-correct if it's gone off the rails.
Okay.
So we could actually use traditional RPA for like hot path. When you know you're focused on the right fields, you could crank through it.
Got it.
But you constantly have something supervising and even possibly modifying the RPA code in real time to account for these random like nuances that may pop up in the environment.
Did you have a headline stat that you shared at Demo Day?
Headline stat? I mean,
do you have any KPIs that you shared? Like
mainly, solo founder. I've been shipping tight iterations. I have users across healthcare, dental, governments.
Do you have any employees yet?
No, it's literally just me.
You?
Yeah.
Wow.
The pig himself.
Yeah.
The pig is just one man.
I need to hire soon. I'm very tired.
Yeah.
Good luck to you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, of course.
We'd love
Enjoy
to
the rest of the events.
Thank you.
Your journey.
Awesome.
This is
Sounds
great.
good.
We'll talk to you soon. Come on, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up?
We got Nicole, repeat guest. We got a repeat guest coming in.
Look at this.
Hello.
We got a
present.
Pastry.
This is the guest that brought us a present.
I've been told to talk really.
Yeah, really close. Really close.
Hey everyone, Nicole Wishoff with Wishoff Ventures, your favorite third-tier VC.
Oh yes. It's on the merch.
I only came to see these guys and bring them pastry, which
she knew. She knew.
And yeah. Anyway, but I have like the goss.
Okay. Oh, give us the goss on the batch. What are
the guys like pulled me aside 15 minutes ago and was like, "You're coming on," and be like, "Give us the scoop." So I went and met every GP around that I recognized.
Yeah.
There are more solo founders that have revenue.
What is this? Yeah.
And customers with no plans, even with funding from this round, to hire. One of the companies in the batch, maybe you interviewed them, is basically saying, we'll be your CTO co-founder.
Oh, interesting.
And so it's just like, they'll get you to like, you're essentially like first MVP to like production live.
Sure.
Crazy.
Before you ever have to hire.
Very cool.
That's interesting. That's the evolution of, we're giving you an AI software agent of like, we're actually going to give you a CTO. It's sort of like 10xing it.
This is like the first batch maybe ever that I'm hearing from some growth investors where everyone from the start is international. Normally it's like US market but everyone is starting off saying like we're global.
Interesting.
Which is really interesting.
Of anything, what's flip-flopping right now?
Everything's agents. Like this whole batch is like everything. This is like the AI, like it should just be rebranded. Somebody did like a Substack on like a teardown of the companies and they were broken apart in like categories. At the very bottom, there's like 6 companies in the whole batch and it just goes like, because by the way, most of it's B2B, but they're just agents. But it was like, classic B2B SaaS. And I was like, that's like the babies.
Yeah.
You know? That's
SaaS
so
has still got it.
I mean, that's a funny framing because I feel like most of these AI agent companies are just B2B SaaS. And they're just using a technology that happens to be a buzzword. And so they're slapping it on there.
I think back to what's also hot right now is, I mean, you guys are probably interviewing them, but like deep tech is having a moment. Totally. I mean, YC would say, and they've always backed some. Yeah. But not a bunch. It was just, like this cohort.
Yeah, I mean, they backed Oklo, a public nuclear company. Boom, built a plane.
Oh gosh,
Astronis, a lot of big companies that at the time it was just like, oh, that's weird. Like this is almost like one of YC's like other bets. Like OpenAI did come out of YC in some ways, or YC research project, and so a lot of that stuff gets classified as like, oh, YC is doing all the same thing, but then also like these weird things off the side. Is like, that's actually a great strategy. That's like a barbell strategy, like the weirdest things, and then also like everything that will be the next trend. And it's fine. They're just doing both. So you can't really put them in one single box.
Yes, you got to hedge a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
I look forward to having much bigger funds and to be more creative.
Yes.
Because there's a world where I'm slinging 250K checks to the top 25%.
I mean, maybe the next batch you come back with an SPV specifically for YC, and you just rip checks and everything.
The real way to do demo day is you come with all your checks printed out physically.
And you just
don't write in the like pay to the order.
Exactly.
So you're just like carrying them around.
Yes.
And you're like, this is it.
Yes.
So when I talk to founders now that are like either have gone public or whatever, they talk about like the good old days. So like 10 years ago when Tiger and them were like having their moment.
Yes.
Like Scott, who's no longer at Tiger, but like would literally like take the meeting at lunch and be like, hey, just get in the car really quickly, like to my plane. And then somebody on the plane would have a printer on the jet. And then they like print out term sheets. And like, that's how they'd win deals.
That's
it was
great.
like, hey, sorry, we're like, can you just like come to the plane? It was like such a flex.
Speed kills.
Like, are we going to come back there?
I hope so. Let's go.
Maybe we just cut checks on the network.
We should.
Like maybe it's on a jet.
Shark
it's
Tank.
like the tech.
You would be a good if we do our own Shark Tank segment. We got to have you on.
Yeah, we got to have you on.
I am so in. Do it.
Anyway.
You guys are amazing.
This is
fantastic. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for these.
Enjoy the
best.
Rocket fuel carbs. Thank you for the caffeine.
Fantastic.
And come on the show again when you have new news for the portfolio. Always welcome.
Thanks for letting me drop exclusive. I got so much inbound from like new semiconductor companies that want to like have chips in the data centers. Like it's nuts.
I'm so glad to hear that. That's fantastic. Welcome to Demo Day. Quick, keep it even shorter than your on-stage pitch. Give us the pitch. We're going to ask one clarifying question, then we're getting out of here. Let's go.
We're building AI agents for video editing, and we wanted to talk with you guys because we saw the launch.
Yeah,
the cars look sick. We're talking to your editor, and we want to edit your videos for you.
Fantastic.
Let's run it.
We need this. Talk to me about what's
Ben's job.
What's under the hood? Are you puppeteering our Premiere Pro installation, or are you using FFmpeg and some other stuff under the hood?
No, we're going to kill the nonlinear editor.
Okay.
We've built our own UI UX paradigm where you can basically create your own automations, run your video editing completely on autopilot. We'll distribute the content out for you on all your socials, train our agent, and self-improve it.
Fantastic.
So it learns your content and drives engagement.
So we can cut, we can add subtitles.
Oh yeah.
Put punch zooms, whatever we need.
Easily.
Fantastic.
How soon are you just saying you don't actually need to come in today to record? We made the video today on the current thing.
You know,
this is on the roadmap.
It's definitely on the roadmap. The idea is I mean, we're gonna integrate with the latest AI tools. So like Argyle, really good AI avatars. That'll just be part of our canvas, our framework. We've built a framework that's extendable now. So you can integrate with Argyle, Runway, like all of these generative AI tools, so like the latest and greatest, right? So yeah,
fantastic. Well, we have to move on, but
for sure,
we definitely need to follow up.
We'll be in touch.
And I'm sure we'll have you follow the show.
Yeah.
Okay,
thank you.
We gotta do a fit check.
Absolutely
Fit check. What do you got on?
Looking
Nokia
great.
phone if you see that.
Very
No
cool.
way.
Oh yeah, you got the buttons.
There you
the
go.
1, 2. That looks great. Looking fantastic. Break it
Nice.
down. What do you do? How's Demo Day going?
We are the only self-improving voice AI. We automate call centers across different industries.
Okay.
And the demo of the day been fantastic. Everybody's complimenting our outfits. It's also matching with my co-founders.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Nice. What's the backstory on the company? When did you start it?
We started back in Germany. I dropped out of university to do this.
Cool.
We started with complex use cases from the get-go.
Okay.
Started selling to enterprise.
Okay.
And now we are handling really deep, complex use cases across retail, insurance, and healthcare.
Cool.
Like medical device support, insurance claims,
like-
and so
yeah.
on. And now
Not your
we're-
average like e-commerce store. Something more complex
no,
than
it's
that.
actual enterprise.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the sales motion?
It was outbound historically,
Yeah.
but after getting to YC, we went viral because
Cool.
Gary Tan retweets every time I tweet on his
That's
Twitter.
awesome.
So ever
Gary.
since
Legend.
coming to YC, it was all inbound.
Fantastic.
On inbound.
How's Demo Day going? How's the round coming together? How
We
you
actually
feeling?
closed around 2 weeks ago.
Oh, fantastic.
We got oversubscribed on the
Love
day
to hear
3.
it. Oh, that's
It's
amazing.
been really great.
Well, congratulations.
Amazing.
Thanks for coming
Thank
on
you.
the stream.
Thank you.
Keep
A little
us
victory lap.
Little victory lap.
Come on the
Thank
show.
you.
Come on the
Love to have
show.
you.
Yeah, my name is Jackson Stokes. I'm the CEO of TrainLoop.
Okay.
And TrainLoop is a reasoning fine-tuning platform.
Okay.
So what this means is we use reinforcement learning to make models way more accurate and be
Okay.
able to learn from feedback.
Cool.
Amazing. What were you doing before TrainLoop?
Yeah, so before doing YC, I was actually at Google working on the Gemini models.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so
Cool.
from there, it
Yeah.
was kind of like, how do we actually get these models to efficiently run at Google scale? And really what it comes down to is inference optimization.
Talk about kind of progress you made in the last 10 weeks. What does that look like?
Yeah, so we were a pretty late addition to the batch. We actually
really?
started the company basically beginning of January.
Oh, wow.
Crazy.
Okay.
But we built out some really cool tech. You know,
Cool.
it does take a lot of the stuff that I learned working on Gemini
Yeah.
and basically brings that out of the research lab into the open.
Yeah.
Yep.
Our first design partner raised their model accuracy from 10% with Claude Sonnet to over 85% with us.
Insane.
Wow.
What do you need to do in the next 10 weeks? What's the focus?
Yeah.
How can people help?
So the biggest thing that you see from YC companies, YC partners warn about is the loss of momentum.
Yeah.
I mean,
totally post Demo Day. Oh, 100%.
Exactly.
Post Demo Day slump. That's what they say.
And you both, you know, have started 2 or 3
Yeah,
companies
yeah,
each
yeah.
individually, right? And so you know how important momentum is.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of our main focus.
Yep.
So just continuing to push on revenue growth, getting hiring down,
Yep.
that kind of thing.
Yeah. Holding
Amazing.
yourself accountable.
All right. Well, we'll have to catch up after.
appreciate it.
after
We'll
the
do that.
guys.
Thanks so much. Let's start with your name, your company, what you do.
Hello, my name is Ben. I'm the CEO of Nitro, which is an AI game development engine that aims to shorten game development processes to 2 days.
Amazing.
Okay, give us your hot
Hot
take
take
on
on
the
Levels.
company of the company of the month, the flight simulator from Levels.
Oh, yes, Levels.
Break it down.
Right? Yeah. We think that those games are pretty good. Like 3JS games are like they're pretty good, but we think that there's a ceiling as to how good games can be built on Cursor. But
Sure.
at certain points, like games can. We do believe that if you spend months on it, you will be able to scale even with just 3JS,
Sure.
or just code it out in C++. But our goal is to make even high quality games done in 2 days and very short. So we're almost like optimizing specifically for gaming, while Cursor is just generally about coding.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yeah. Do you think games over time, sort of, like the part of the bet of the company is that games become more ephemeral and they sort of like rise and fall in popularity like faster? Is that like part of the thesis, or are you looking to acquire customers that basically build franchises on your infrastructure?
We believe that for a while, like the existing game companies, like 65% of game revenue comes from like the top 1%
It's
of the
power
game
law,
companies
right?
in the world. We think that law, that rule exists mainly because game development has been so hard to do. Like there's so
Yeah.
much in terms of graphics, asset generation, the mechanics, logic. So even if you know how to code, those games are incredibly difficult to build. We think that that's archaic now with Gen AI, and it's possible because with world generation, asset generation, mechanical scripting and everything, it's become far easier to create any kind of game. So our goal is to just make sure that anybody in the world can create a game. And if you're even remotely technical, you'll be able to build a game that rivals the top companies.
So over time, do you look more like I don't know how to position it, like the next generation of Roblox, or more like almost like a Square type infrastructure player for game developers.
What's interesting is we're actually fixing both the rendering side because Godot has weaknesses in the 3D side. We are improving the engine there while also building out a platform. So down the line, we view ourselves as expanding the UGC market to compete with Roblox. But also the engine power will be comparable to Unity.
Cool.
So both fronts, we see game companies as well as consumers being able to use it.
Is an obvious marketing stunt to build the next GTA before they do?
That is exactly the very first thing we're doing.
Really?
We're releasing a suite of tutorials. And
GTA 5.9. Fantastic. Well,
nice.
thanks
Well,
for coming on the show.
Let's talk offline. I'd love to.
Thanks so much.
Great to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Great to meet you.
Good luck. Thank you for tuning in to this year's YC Demo Day stream from the Palace of Party Rounds, the Fortress of Finance, the capital of capital. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.